send it up to
Somebody's
date.
been dialed in since before I
Yeah.
started here.
Doug said he wasn't joining us, so.
You ready?
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute.
Good morning. It's Monday, March 23rd, 2020, 9 a.m. This is the Muscatine County Board of Supervisors. I'd like to call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to review the agenda.
Move to approve.
Have a motion by Nathan, second by Scott. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. The next item is receive comments from the public. As you noticed on we have a call-in number on our board. It was and a PIN number. So anybody in the public that wishes to watch this in live person, they can call into that number and hear the dialogue. We're asking that members of the public refrain from coming to the meeting so we can stay under the 10-person rule for social gathering. You will have access. You can email us, and you can certainly send us any comments you may have. So seeing no public at the meeting this morning, we'll move on to item number 4. Discussion and possible action to approve claims dated March 23rd, 2020 in the amount of $445,263.45. I have a motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Nathan. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Okay, motion carries. Item number 5 are items with Mike Nolan of Horizon Architecture.
I'm not seeing him dialed in.
Okay, so Mike is joining us electronically this morning, and we don't have him in on the meeting yet. We're a little early, so let's, if it's okay with other board members, we'll run to Keith on item number 6.
Good morning.
Good morning, Keith.
We have one permit this morning, one utility permit from Eastern Iowa RAC of Wilton, Iowa. And they are basically requesting to replace a section of line that runs from Bayfield Road south along Jewett Avenue to 1968 Jewett. And they're basically going from a single phase to a 3-phase line to service a customer. That's all we have.
Okay,
Move to approve.
I have a motion by Nathan,
Second.
second by Scott. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Do you have a projects update this morning, Keith?
Yeah, project's not a lot new other G28. They have done a lot of clearing on hill there near the old Bandag building. Dropped the trees ahead of the April 1 deadline, and they intend to burn that sometime this week with what they've dropped. Any further work is weather dependent there. And we do have our contractor up on Old 6 that wants to have a pre-con, which we're probably gonna do electronically, and wants to get started about the beginning of April. So 2 big projects. I had heard some questions a couple questions on G28. First off, considering that all they're doing is dropping the trees to beat the April 1 Indiana Bats deadline, we have not mailed residents to say they're doing that. Because we don't know what else and when else they're doing anything else, so there's not a lot to tell. The other concern I'd heard was that, we were spending millions on this project and no rock on the roads. And just want to note again that there is not one penny of local dollars in this multi-million-dollar project. It's all state and federal dollars. So it has zero relationship to our local budget and putting rock on the road, so.
Thank you, Keith, thanks for clearing that up.
Yep, you bet.
Anything else with Keith?
Appreciate it.
Okay, item,
Excuse me, is that line still connected?
did Mike,
He says he's dialed in, but he's having a problem.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I thought I heard something go.
I heard some music and then
And then it just kinda went blank.
You
Sorry, I
got the numbers.
apologize.
no, that's
Six-
all right.
You got the, oh yeah, I don't
Take
have
a
it.
little bit to work the kinks out.
Well, I hope we have the other system.
They may have, since nobody joined in a certain amount of time, it might have killed it.
Wasn't there someone dialed in?
We're sorry, your call cannot be completed at this time. Please hang up and try your call again later. Thank you.
I was wanting to punch that lady.
So it refuses to let us join our own meeting?
Let it started possibly, I'm not sure.
Okay, bear with us, we're having a little technical difficulty here.
Yeah. I bet.
We're sorry, your call cannot be completed.
I could just have Mike call my cell and
Yeah, just put
Yeah,
then I'll put it on speaker.
just
Does
put it
that
on,
work for
that
everybody?
works.
You wanna do that instead of doing it online? Okay.
It's letting me call in.
Yes?
Just let you
It's
call
letting
in.
me call in, I just called that number from, unless he's got a different one.
No, he doesn't. It's the
Yeah.
same number and then it's unmuting.
Yeah, just let me call it for myself.
Okay.
I'll see if Mike calls in here. I'll send him a note, tell him to call myself.
Right, well, I'm gonna guess it's busy time of the day and,
And everybody's doing this?
right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Mike has your number, Jeff.
He should,
Alright.
I think. I sent him a text, but
Okay.
I hope I got the right number for him.
Jeff's just randomly reaching out to people in
Yeah,
the county
I
asking to
do.
call in.
Okay, so let's move on to item 7 while we try to wait for Mike, and if he calls in quick, we'll get to him. Item number 7 is discussion of possible action to approve resolution 03-23-2001.
And the rest of that should read homestead credit tax application. And reminder, this is a roll call vote.
Okay.
And Randy Spees, our assessor, had requested that this be put on for board action today. What this does is allow people to file their homestead tax credit or military service tax exemption forms via mail.
Okay,
My one concern about it is it doesn't have a sunset. So I assume that the reason for putting this up is so people don't have to come in during the virus.
I
No?
actually think their intent is that this would be allowed
Okay.
going forward at any time.
All right.
It's something that we thought had been done years ago.
Right.
We can't find the document, so we're doing.
Oh, perfect
it
then.
today.
I can give you a pen, but.
All right, then I'll move to approve.
I have a motion by Nathan,
Second.
second by Scott. This is a roll call vote. Any further discussion? Santos?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I vote aye. Scott? Aye. Motion carries. Item number 8 is discussion of possible action to approve and authorize the chair to sign an agreement with CenturyLink with Information Services Director Bill Riley. I see Bill's working on our technology issue.
Well, we're not gonna get that right now, so,
Okay.
this is an agreement with, CenturyLink.
Oh, here's Mike. Nice.
Okay.
Mike? Mike? Good morning. I've got you on my speakerphone here in the chambers. So let's go back to items with Mike Nolan. We've Mike Nolan from Horizon Architecture on the phone here. I'm gonna put you by the microphone so the public can hear. First is discussion and possible action to approve COR number 9 mechanical room drain pan in the amount of $263.80 in the Muscatine County Maintenance Building. You wanna talk a little about that, Mike?
Yep, and can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So this was as we were doing construction walkthrough in the mechanical room, we had a need for a condensate drain. What we had was a simple floor drain, but after reviewing how that was actually performing, it's essentially the routing of the drain pipe into this drain, we noticed that there was some drip back that was gonna get onto the wood floor, as we're just doing a painted plywood up there. So after looking at that condition, the recommendation was to put a drain pan to put the condensate into, and then put that directly, hard pipe that to the drain. What that will do is essentially protect the floor. So this is more or less just a solution to adjust the condition that we saw in the field to keep the floor from rotting out over time.
And this is up on the mezzanine level, Mike?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. I move to approve in the amount of $263.78, which I think there's a typo in our agenda. $263.78.
Okay, have a motion by Nathan?
I will second.
Second by Scott. Any discussion?
Mike, do we have the installer that's doing that? Is that a warranted system that we're gonna have, or are we gonna be PMing this system 6 months or a year down the road type deal?
Are we in the boiler system or the drain pan or?
The boiler system where they're actually installing the drain pan onto.
Yep, so the boiler system itself will be, you have your standard 1-year warranty, with law, and I can look back and see what the specific material warranty is, but that's 1 year contractor's warranty for that time.
By
I
the,
have to do some research to tell you exactly what the warranty period is on the boiler itself.
okay, by the installer.
The installer has a 1-year warranty on everything,
Okay.
correct?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? So I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Item B is discussion possible action to approve COR number 10, gate modification and ADA ramp railing in the amount of $11,835.79 for the Muscatine County General Services Building.
This is actually 2 items, but it's all under steel fabrication, so I just had them put this all together. So the first item is in the mezzanine on the general service maintenance side, we have a light-duty crane hoist to put seasonal items up and down. And we discussed lawnmowers, snow blowers, things like that for storage. And the original concept was just to have a removable railing section in order to accommodate moving things back and forth. After we put the railing in and kind of reviewing the install with Swanson Construction's project superintendent, I think we both agreed that it's likely to create a potentially hazardous situation, as you have about a 6-foot section steel tube railing that would need to be lifted up and then moved out of the way. As we were trying to pull the rail up, it just felt like it was going to be a little precarious to do that on a regular basis. So the recommendation was to go with more of a swinging gate setup where the county service employee would be able to open that gate, swing it to the interior, and then not put themselves in a position where potentially they're trying to hoist the heavy the railing over top of basically over the edge there. So that would be the first modification to the railing. The second part is we were looking at the accessibility and trying to put the grades together. The hope was that we'd be able to do a 1 to 20 sidewalk from the existing along Walnut Street to the side of the building, which would be essentially considered a sloped surface and not a ramp. Unfortunately, after we saw everything come together, there's not going to be space on site to economically do that. So at this point, that short section of walk that you'll see coming off the Walnut, there's a perpendicular section of walk that will go towards the building, and then there's a sloping ramp that will go up to the side to the front. That will be around the 1 and 12 slope, which is an ADA ramp, and the requirement for that is that we have handrails on both sides. So that was the additional modification since we went from unable to being a sloped surface to being a ramp.
Mike, I was a little confused on the numbers on that. I saw in the 11.8, could you go back and what's that comprised of? Cause I wasn't coming up with 11.8 when I was looking through it, I don't know where I was missing something.
Okay, we'll take a look through the backup and see what's here.
I was kinda confused because we had like the 2,900, the 30, so I have to add the 29, the 17, and the other one together, right, 50 some.
There's 5366 on the first one, then there's these two things which add up to just, was that about 4,600?
Oh, yeah, okay, so okay, that's what I missed the second one,
So
alright.
that adds up to the 1096.
All right, it looks about right.
Okay.
And so,
Like I said, this will be that railing will run the entire. It's probably about let me take a look back and see. It's about a 30-foot run of ramp. So, two 25-foot handrails plus we'll have to get to continue that aesthetically. So from the top of the ramp around the corner on the porch, we have about another 10 feet of railing just to continue that to make it look right at the top.
is this gonna affect our concrete work as well? Did we have more, less, or is it about the same as the original plan?
No, the concrete was always in the original plan, and I've talked with Dan Brown, and his recommendation was we'll go ahead and proceed with concrete on their schedule, and then the railings will come back in core and sleeve fairly common installation practice. That will also make it simpler from a coordination standpoint.
So the big issue, the big driver of this is due to the slope. It became just instead of like a flat entry, it became an ADA ramp, therefore we must put handrails on it.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, I would move its approval. I don't think we have an option on that, that's
Yeah,
ADA, and you have to pay.
I would second that, you know.
Or do you have to make them, Jeff, can you move it?
Can I? I think I can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what our rules say.
Yeah, you can.
All right, awesome.
So I have a motion and a second, any further discussion?
Where does this gate that he's talking about?
It's up on the mezzanine, it's to allow access to that bridge crane, so they can get stuff up on the second deck. A 6-foot section in
Okay,
it.
okay, so that's up on top then?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's there taking this off, so it's a little more removable in a sense.
I
then.
understand the issue on that.
We had a 6-foot removable section on to slide it up and out, and hanging over a mezzanine, sliding up a heavy gate probably is one would be a 2-man operation, and then secondly, is dangerous. So I think that's a good catch in this process to get that done and make it more of a swing gate. So probably a double, Mike, or just a single?
Yes, that's correct. If you go look at the railing as it is right now, we're going to take where there is a break in the section between the two railings and basically come back one post from that and install the modifications. We'll have a total of, I think, about 6 to 8 feet.
Yeah, yeah.
But that $5,000 to $6,000 cost is gonna be cheap compared to an injury that's gonna be sustained, and I can tell you right now, it will be sustained in the period of time of the building.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions for Mike on this? I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Okay, item number C is an action to accept the quotation in the amount of $8,742.10 from Story Kenworthy for furniture for the Muscatine County General Services Building. And I know
So this is more, go ahead.
I know we had this as a separate budget item, right, the furniture?
It's included in
That's
the
correct.
contract.
Furniture and equipment was a separate outside of the contract, so this is direct purchase by the county.
Okay. And this is break room, Oscar's office, filing, et cetera, et cetera?
Right. We have a small workstation set up for staff, because they all read emails and do things on a computer, so in one area of the break room, there'll be a small desk set up with some file drawers for them, some furniture for Oscar's office, some file cabinets, and then 4 tables that are very similar, and they may be the exact tables that we put in the courtroom. There are 4 of them that'll go together for one big table, but they can be moved into the horseshoe for training there if they choose, so that they're on wheels, so they're mobile. And in chairs for that table.
Okay.
Do we competitively bid these, Sherry, at all? Or is this a contract that we have with them?
Well, we just reached out to H&I, you know, and we used the same.
So they have
Historic
they have a state and local contract that's a competitively bid and,
Right.
and issued that these are all purchased under.
Right. And Stuart Kenworthy, because H&I does not
So
sell
direct.
directly to us, we go
Okay.
through this dealer of theirs, but yeah, we're getting state bid prices, so we're not required to competitively bid it.
Okay.
And we like to shop locally if we can.
No, I just didn't know this group. I didn't know who
Yeah,
Story
it's-
Kenworthy
it's a-
was.
It's an H&I dealer, or vendor.
It's as they would call it, a servicing dealer. They have
Yes.
governmental contracts, and then they have servicing dealers that provide the installation, delivery, all that. Actually probably be delivered directly here, I would guess, but
Yes.
they'll come unbox it, set it up, hook it up, do all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I would move to approve.
So I have a motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Santos. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed the same? Motion carries. Mike, did you have any other updates for us this morning with projects?
Yeah, just a couple of things just generally on the maintenance facility. So I've been in close contact with site superintendent, just for you guys' awareness, they are continuing to work, and they plan to continue for the time being. They have installed some hand wash things on site. They're going to try and work their contract coordination to try and minimize contact between different groups to the extent that it's practical. So I've given them, we talked through this, is essentially it's the point that they feel it's safe to continue to do so, and as long as the county is in agreement, they'll continue to work on the project. As you may know, City Hall has more or less closed to the public, but I've been in correspondence with both Mike Hopkins and with Nick over the city, and they're going to continue to support construction operations, inspections, things like that. They'll work that on a case-by-case basis. At this point, there is no definite plan from the city to restrict further activities. So what we've done is more or less empower the contractor to make good smart decisions for their groups and for their subcontractors. And I feel confident that they will continue to assess the situation as we go. Other projects, we have a site plan review for the deputies' quarters addition, and that's in process with the city, even though that was going to, they did cancel the person-to-person meeting. We'll do that electronically, so that's proceeding as well. So for the time being, we'll continue to advance projects and get things developed, and we'll discuss as we get closer to the best way to handle that situation is. But so far, a little different, but continuing to push things along as best we can, get some circumstances.
Okay, any questions for Mike on those?
Mike, can you tell us what's the percentage of completion on the maintenance building that we're working on? Is that 70%, 60%, in your opinion?
I would say, in my opinion, I'd say we're probably 75 to 80%. I will check in with Dan Brown. I'll give you guys at least an email update before next week to see where we are. But it's the end of April, and we were proceeding on pretty well on that path. The next big thing we're starting to do today is the concrete flat work. That was scheduled to start either towards the end of last week or the beginning of this week. So that's a little coordination with the city of what we can do to close down Walnut partially to tear up the edges along that. Again, we're trying to push back that to the point that we can, because right now we have a little bit of concrete to work on the parking lot. Trying not to make it as much mass out there, but that's probably the next major phase you'll see starting to happen on there.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else for Mike?
All right, thank you.
Okay, Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
Okay. All right, so now we'll go back to, sorry, Bill, back to item number 8 on the agenda is discussion of possible action to approve and authorize the chair to sign an agreement with CenturyLink with Information Services Director Bill Riley.
Morning. This is for a 2-year agreement on all the lines that would be the older POT style or analog lines that go into the various phone systems throughout different county offices. And this is just going to standardize the cost as much as possible across those offices, and will help reduce costs over the next 2 years on that. It's something that we've done in the past, and it's just time to renew.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
We've had these contracts with them before, and we're just renewing, is that really what it is?
Yeah, and as over time, we've kind of reduced the number of lines as we're moving from more analog to digital services, but we still do have a number of
Right, we have
analog.
25.
What's that?
We still have 25
25.
analog lines.
Right.
Where possible, we're looking to replace those either with digital PRI lines, or if we can, go to a VoIP type service.
And really, I mean, faxes still prefer analog lines, last I knew it. Is that true? They're getting better with the digital on them?
They're getting better with the PRI systems. Generally, you can put in what are called fax cards, and so that in the phone system then converts that one back to a non-digital line, and that's a dedicated line, whereas you could share lines in other offices, that would have to be their dedicated. So we still do that, and with our SIP service or our VoIP service here, we are actually doing those over the SIP service as well. We have not had any problems with that.
Really?
So that technology is improved, but a lot of that is dependent on the age of the copier or the fax machine
Right.
to support the newer protocols.
Yeah.
So,
You got a question?
yeah,
Go ahead.
so for this contract, is there a percentage rate increase, or are they staying the same? And over the next year, is it also going up? Is it a 2%, 3% increase, or
This is locking us in for 2 years on this price.
no change in any?
It should help reduce some prices, because right now, several of our lines aren't under a contract. So this is going to help bring down those costs and lock it in for the next 2 years. And then in 2 years, we will review and possibly renew it or extend it. And the current contract is for a 10 to 49 total lines. So we could technically lose 15 of those to either digital or SIP type service and still maintain the contract.
Good, all right, that's all I have.
I would move to approve.
Have a
I'll
motion
second.
by Scott,
I'll second it.
second by Santos. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Item number 9 is discussion of possible action to approve the minutes of March 16, 2020 regular meeting and the Thursday, March 19, 2020 special meeting.
So moved.
Have a motion by Nathan,
Second.
second by Scott. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Correspondence. Santos, do you have any
I
correspondence?
had a email that I think was shared with everyone here from Ed Askew in regards to meeting past minutes, and I think some budget questions and some information on contracts. That I'm not sure if you got a copy of that or not, Sherry. And then I got another email in regards to concerns about the roundabout on Second Street that I shared with the city resident that reach out to their council members. It's concerns about semi-traffic and things around the roundabout that I had brought up previously when I was on council, I think, so that's all I have.
Hey,
I just had the FOIA, or the Iowa Open Records Law, I should say, request, and with the exception of one contract, it looks like all of these documents are publicly available, easily downloadable. So just wanted to point that out.
Thank you, Nathan. I had that same, open records request, so that was it for public info.
Correspondence, I had, the same, email information. Committee reports, on Monday the 16th, I had the Conservation Board, and on Wednesday the 18th was the Board of Health, electronic meeting. That's all I had.
Okay, and I had on the 16th, I had the Eastern Iowa Mental Health Region meeting, and on the 19th, what did I say, Leslie? I had an electronic meeting for the, Mississippi Valley Regional Workforce Board. So we are attempting to merge with, I think we talked about that other, that was on the 19th, it was an electronic meeting, and we're discussing plans and move forward on that process, so making good progress, that was it.
I did not have any committee meetings.
Neither did I.
Okay, item number 12 is to receive information from county employees. Any county employees? Keith, like to share anything?
I should have mentioned, but I didn't, we do have the DOT 5-year plan and budget to approve coming up. The DOT has said, no mercy on that because it's code, it's not up to them to waive timelines on that, so we will have to deal with that in the next week or two. The budget portion of that is absolutely identical to the county budget you approved, so there should end. The year of construction that's in place is part of that budget. So the only thing really to review will be the next 4 years. Years 2, 3, 4, and 5. And a reminder to the board, anything that's in that plan, you, the board, can elect to do. Advance, move it forward, you just have to say, where's the money come from? Which usually means you have to say, I'm not doing this, because I want to do that. But that is, that's all I had.
Okay,
Thanks.
Thank you.
thank you, Keith. Brian, did you have something you wanted to share? No. Okay, I will just, the treasurer mentioned this morning, and she's not able to come in, we're trying to keep our group size down. She did mention that there's been some confusion about waiver of things, and we're going strictly in Muscatine County by what the state has published. So I believe they just did something on, let me read you so I don't mess it up. They have said that property tax payment penalties will be abated through the 16th of April. So they've pushed that out 2 weeks. And motor vehicle is the same. Again, if you have purchased a new motor vehicle since January, they've extended that deadline to the 16th. But we've taken no other issues. I think we may have a discussion. Sounds like Scott County has moved some of that to the 30th, but this board has not discussed that. She will maybe be bringing that to us in the next few weeks. But the governor has already made that statement, and our intention is to follow the direction we're getting from the state at this point. Anything else? Leslie, how did things go with the elections? You're getting people in. I think I saw where some
Yes,
candidates were able, and everybody knows what they need to do. And
Right, we have probably received most of our candidates in that we're going to the deadline for the general election, which involved all the township trustees and the nonpartisan offices and such. That deadline was Friday night at 5 o'clock, and so that is over. So now all we are doing until this Wednesday, the 25th at 5 o'clock, is the partisan county offices, which is strictly Board of Supervisors, Sheriff, Auditor, and the 2 Board of Supervisor districts, Sheriff and Auditor, are the only offices that need to come in before the 25th at 5 o'clock. And I believe we probably have most of those papers in. There could be a few stragglers, but basically those are the only people we are allowing in our office at this time. Anybody else would have to be on an emergency basis, and I doubt we would have anything real estate wise or that sort of thing that's emergency. Most things we can deal with over the phone or through mail or email. The ones who do have to still come in and file their papers will be questioned before they're allowed in. the screening questions that we came up with last week about their health and that sort of thing before they're allowed in, and then we only bring them up one at a time.
Okay, so
Don't bring
everybody,
your spouse and everything with you because you're only.
so
gonna get
anybody
one.
that has election papers to file by the deadline, please call the auditor's office
and we'll make
and
arrangements
schedule an
for you.
appointment, and they'll work with you to get in. Anybody else that has business with any county department that they need urgent or whatever, please call, email, fax, whatever.
That county
Talk
department.
with one of the county departments and they will work with you to take care of the issues.
Yes, we are all working, we're just now on it.
Yep, everybody's working and I think things are going quite well. Okay, item number 13 is items with the administration office. 13A is discussion of possible action to approve a Muscatine County emergency disaster declaration related to COVID-19. Brian, do you want to just make a brief statement about that?
Yes, I had reached out to my counterparts, and basically I had sent a disaster declaration statement to Iowa Homeland Security. I had what's called as a web EOC, basically a link between emergency manager coordinators and the state, just sending information, keeping them updated. I wanted to get this out, send out emails to everybody just saying that we need to get this declaration lined up. Basically, as of Thursday, March 19th, we received notification from Iowa Public Health and Governor's Office that Muscatine County had a positive case. Saturday, the 21st, we received our second notification. So with that, I'm requesting that we proceed with a disaster declaration.
And I think for everybody's, public listening, so we have included in our declaration all the incorporated townships in the county, and so that they can be presented to their councils and they can take that, they can take action to assign those and approve them. And this is just in the case that there will be emergency funds available, so that if a township or any community resource would need resources, we would have the ability to, through Homeland Security, state or federal resources, to apply for emergency funding. Just opens up the potential. We don't really, we've had a meeting, we haven't really seen high needs addressed yet, but clearly there's a whole group, and the EMA Commission is meeting and talking about this weekly, and I feel pretty good that everybody's keeping an eye out, and the first responders are all communicating, and the hospitals and Christy and the group at Public Health is doing a great job of communicating, keeping everybody in the loop. And then I've asked Brian, is if the board approves this declaration, I've asked him to kind of shepherd it around to the other mayors in some of these smaller communities to make sure that they get it signed and approved through their bodies, so that we can have this on file and available.
Brian, there's always a lot of misinformation and everything going around among the public. Do you know of any one truly reliable place people can go for updates?
CDC Rumors Control. There's a page that's out. There's a lot of information that's starting to come out where you go to this and look. I'm going to suggest the public, if they have any questions, there is a 24-hour hotline. It's 1-800-244-7431. I'll repeat that, 1-800-244-7431. You can also call 211. Now remember, there are a lot of cases in the state of Iowa, so these numbers are probably going to be busy. If you don't get through, there's a possibility of leaving a message, or just keep trying. One of the things I really want to emphasize is practice what everybody's been saying through the CDC, Iowa Department of Public Health. Social distancing. Don't go out if you have to, unless you have to. It's essential to do that. Just follow the guidelines. Since a week ago, Monday, I was discussing with Kristen Roby-Williams, who's the director of Muscatine County Public Health, a lot of the options. My EOC is an emergency operations center. I put that on a level 1, which is just basically monitoring. Once we had a verification that we had a positive case in Muscatine, I activated it to what is called an EOC 2, which is limited. And basically what we're doing, most times in an EOC, we're all in this room. My current location is not big enough to accommodate a CDC of 10 in a room and 6-foot spacing. I do have an alternate location at this time, but in our discussions, we decided that we would have a virtual EOC. And right now, that is a lot of the other counties are having. Some of the larger counties, Johnson, Scott, they have a much bigger room where they can space out. So essentially what I have is what's called ESFs. These are essential support functions. So I have involved communications. I have included a representative of fire. Emergency management is myself. ESF 8 is public health. And I can include ESF 15, which is basically external affairs. And then this morning, based on our second case, I'm going to invoke public safety and probably just working with, I'll start receiving a lot of logistics regarding PPE requests. Basically, this is a moment by moment. We're going through this. There's a lot of communication with, in our EOC that we, as you mentioned, Jeff, you're in that, and the mayor's pretty much just trying to keep everybody informed of what's going on. Is there any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Other questions or concerns? Look to a motion on the declaration as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion by Nathan,
I'll second it.
second by Santos. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Okay, 13B is a COVID-19 update. I don't know if everybody, hopefully people saw that the governor had an additional press conference yesterday, 2:30 or so, and she has sent out a further declaration and has closed a number of different type of businesses, you know, salons, things of that nature. I'd say heavy public interaction. They're trying to limit people's exposure, and I don't know if I saw a sunset date on that. But there has been another, what's that?
End of the month.
End of the month. So everything is pretty much running till March 31st right now. They're trying to get through this 10 to 14 day kind of incubation period, or trying to see if they're slowing the curve a little bit. I don't know, you know, if you've noticed, Iowa's up to 90 cases now as of yesterday, I believe, was the last number I saw. And it still appears that our neighbors in Johnson County are probably leading the pack with about 32 cases of the 90. But you're starting to see a little bit more spread in the Des Moines area. Scott County had their first case on Sunday, it was announced.
Rock Island just got one.
Rock Island, I see some, so you know it's in the area now, and I think everybody needs to be safe and pay attention to what they're recommending, the health professionals, and everything will be good.
And Chris Jasper, who's the Muscatine manager, also reached out to me and wanted me to reiterate to you and to the public that they are still open and operating. They've changed their operations a little bit and are following the recommendations put out by the Iowa Department of Public Health by screening callers with their recommended screening process, and if a caller meets the criteria, that information is given to first responders to take appropriate action and protection before responding to that residence. They have locked down the dispatch center to visitors and are screening their employees at the beginning of the shifts. They work in close proximity to each other and are taking every precaution possible to keep it from entering the dispatch center. We do have a verbal agreement with both Louisa and Cedar County, a contingency plan in place, so if any of those centers are hit with the COVID, the other two can take over and help with their dispatching needs until they get through that situation. And as always, they invite the board or anybody from the public who has any questions, Chris invites them to please give them a call. I'd be happy to answer their questions.
Okay. Any other updates or questions? So Board have anything else? Anything else coming before the board?
Did, we already discussed and that we're moving out the meeting that we had scheduled for tomorrow.
Yes,
Correct.
tomorrow's
So we
meeting with the
communicated
joint
this-
council, board meeting has been postponed. We're attempting to reschedule. I haven't heard anything. I think the notion at this point is just kind of wait and see what happens with this and the, you know, kind of reduced meetings with public, and we'll go from there.
I just had one question. Have we got any more updates on the flooding or any concerns
I
that
think
you
we need
worked on
something
that?
else, right?
Have you had any information or time to look at that? I know the water table's going up. I know the river's going up.
They're expecting a crust just above moderate stage Muscatine this week. I do have that information and I will send that out.
Did we get the new information from the meteorologist that did our presentation? Could you send that to us as well too?
The
Then?
hydrologist,
Yeah.
Friday got a little bit busy.
I know, but I just think it would be good for us to,
Certainly, I can do that.
I'm sure we'll get through this and I think we'll have other things to go through, but I just wanted to know where we're at on that.
I drove over the Cedar a few times this weekend, and the water's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, the river levels are high right now, and with the moisture and, you know, snowfall and rain that we've been seeing already, we know it's gonna keep coming. Okay, anything else?
No.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.